Apparently, would this happen over the weekend? Kim Jong-il rather criticized Joe Biden and John Bolton, called John Bolton a warmonger. They must be reading. They must have good intelligence reports that Iran, in some ways, is trying to isolate John Bolton in the administration, and maybe this was also. This was a way to reach Trump with a little bit of a little bit of medicine, a little bit of sugar. The medicine, John Bolton is a warmonger, and also Joe Biden, not that bright. And here is Trump responding to this.
Does it give you pause at all to be appearing to side with a brutal dictator instead of with a fellow American, the former Vice President Joe Biden?
Well, Kim Jong-un made a statement that Joe Biden is a low IQ individual. He probably is, based on his record. I think I agree with him on that.
But in terms of criticism that you're sort of supporting a dictator instead of an American vice president?
Well, when I look at what's been done by our vice president and the president, when I look at the horrible Iran deal that they made, look what happened since I terminated the Iran deal. Look what has happened to Iran. Iran, when I first came into office, was a terror. They were fighting in many locations all over the Middle East. They were behind every single major attack, whether it was Syria, whether it was Yemen, whether it was individual smaller areas, whether it was taking away oil from people. They were involved with everything. Now they're pulling back because they've got serious economic problems.
Well, I mean, aside from the fact that I may agree with the worst president in the history of our country, arguably, and a brutal dictator on Joe Biden's, on the estimation of Joe Biden, I got to take a little exception with what Iran was doing. Before, certainly they were funding terrorism around the Middle East. When you talk about Yemen, I think arguably we spread as much terror there as Iran, perhaps maybe in some respects even more, because we certainly have enabled the killing of thousands upon thousands of civilians, not to mention just, what has been created there in terms of famine and whatnot, and an inability to deal with the famine and natural disasters there. So I don't know. But it's interesting to see Joe Biden's no appearance, no enthusiasm plan getting under Donald Trump's skin, even abroad. Pretty impressive stuff.